Hi everyone, today I'm going to do a slightly different video. I've been asked to give some help on how I finish a colouring book. So I've got a few of the books that I finished here in front of me, and I just thought I would talk to you a little bit about it really. Firstly, I want to say you never have to finish a colouring book. If you've bought a book, let's say this one, and you like all the pictures apart from one, don't colour that one. There's no rule that says you have to colour it all, okay? So that's my first thing to say. So if you're not the type of person that wants to finish a book, if you find that too much pressure and you're not enjoying the book, you've done the pictures in it that you enjoy, don't feel that you've got to finish it. So that's the first thing I just want to say. We're all different. We don't have to do the same thing. Now, I know a lot of people, well, I do as well, might have a bit of a guilt about having so many books that are unfinished. Now try not to feel like that, and think about what you can do. If you've got lots of books and you've bought loads of books, let's have bought all these books, and let's say I didn't like this one. I mean, I love this book, but I finished it. But let's just say I didn't like this book and I haven't coloured it in at all, or someone gave it to me and I didn't like it. That never happens either, but you know, give it away to someone who will enjoy it. Even if you've done a page like this book, you could just tear that one out. You could pop it in a charity shop or something for someone else to enjoy. So you don't have to finish that book to fully have enjoyed it and used it. Just give it away. Or if you've got several copies of the same book. You know, I mean, sometimes we start a book, we really like it, we grab this book, we think, I love that page, I want to do it again. So I buy another copy of the book, and then you don't do it again, and you've got that empty book sitting there. Give it away, you know. You don't have to do it. So that's another thing I want to say. And I also want to say, pick pictures you love. You know, I've got this book, let's say, and there are 20 pictures in here I absolutely adore and I want to do, but the others maybe not so much, let's say. Just do those 20. You've probably got another book. Do a different book. And, you know, I think a lot of us might have enough books to keep us going forever. And so we're never going to finish all of them. So pick out the ones you like. However, that's just my little intro to say, you don't feel, just because I'm doing a video on how to finish a book, don't feel that you've got to finish all of your books. But I'm now going to talk a little bit about how I finish books, which is what I was asked. So I've got quite a variety of books that I finished. These are the I've got all these Matchstick Mouse, all these Morgan O'Brien books. Oops, I just hit my camera, sorry. Sorry. So I've got five Morgan O'Brien books that I finished. Now these are really simple. They're just small pictures, so they're really easy to finish. And I find them great for sitting on the sofa and colouring, because you can just grab, they're small, they fit on my lap, you know. So these I finished, and they're all quite recent finishes as well. Yeah, I've done flip through, so I don't really need to show you. But the point I'm making is, if you want to finish a book, a simple book is a really good way to start. They've got 35 pictures in as well, so they don't take too long. Another one's these two as well that I finished. These are by Dominica Stoper, and they're only one-sided, and they're mandalas. There's no background. Oh, I did one there, but not a lot of background. And also I did these frames, but you don't have to do those frames. You know, it's quite a simple. You're supposed to fill in that, but I didn't. And also she sent me these books. They're lovely. And also these, you know, I think there's only 12 pictures in this book, so it didn't take me long to finish it. Okay. And then these are small. Oops, sorry, my pencil sharpener's going for it. These are small books, so it doesn't take long to complete a page. So a lot of these are done with pen on my lap in front of the telly, you know. And also the same with this one. This is another small book. I used to take this out and about with me when I was visiting people. so it was really easy to complete. And this one, little bookmarks, easy to do. Haven't done backgrounds on all of them, you know. And then this one, which again, mandalas, 72. It's not too big a book. They're quite small. A lot of them done in pen. Okay, so that's one thing about these, small and simple, that helps. However, moving on to Johanna Basford, I have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, about 17 Johanna Basford books. This one, small, so that helped me finish this one. Okay, and look, no backgrounds, very few. So that was a small book. Now the planners I find very easy to finish because I make them into videos. So every week there's a planner video, so I have to do them. Have to, you know, I feel obliged to do them for you guys, and I really enjoy doing them. So don't think I'm just doing them. You would see, if I wasn't enjoying a page, you would see it. So it's a lot of fun, and so that's how I finished those. I sort of committed to doing it every week because it's a video, so I have to. So that's why those are finished. But then these are the rest of my Johanna Basford books that I finished. It's a big pile. Every book of Johanna's I finished at least one copy of, apart from Rooms of Wonder, which I'm about halfway through. Now, how have I finished these? Well, firstly, let's go right down to Secret Garden. Now, Secret Garden, this one, was my very first colouring book. And I only had one, so I coloured in it, and I coloured every day. Okay, and I still colour every day, and I had this in 2013. So I've been colouring every day. So that is another way that I finish quickly, every day. Should I say it again? Every day. So, and you can see that these are quite simple. There's not many backgrounds. It's my initial book. They're quite simple. I completely ruined that one with a rubbish background. And so I just worked through it, really. I didn't do the drawing. There, look, it's supposed to draw. Didn't do that, you know. And it was just quite basic. So that was the reason that I finished that one quite quickly, was because it was the only one I had, although I did get Enchanted Forest after it, which I'm just going to grab for you. Oh, this is my second copy of my first copy of Enchanted Forest, and so I had this one as well, but as you can see again, there's still not many backgrounds. I wasn't very ambitious for that background. A little bit of just yellow, a bit yellow backgrounds, maybe a little bit here, so it's getting a little bit more. So I could finish these early books quite quickly because this one's got a lot more of a background in it, because I wasn't really doing a lot of detail, a lot of backgrounds, a lot of layering or anything like that. Okay, but as time goes on, I get a much bigger collection of books, as we all have done. I get a second copy of Secret Garden, a second copy of Enchanted Forest, I get Magical Jungle, and Johanna's Christmas, and then World of Flowers, and so on and so on. So now I've got a big pile of books. Still all Johanna Basford to start with. So although there's a lot of books, there's still not loads. So I'm still able to cope with colouring them and finishing them fairly quickly. You can see still not mega amounts of backgrounds. Some are really quite simple. That yellow background there was done with pen, you know, so it's quick. So there's a bit of a really simple background on that one. That one's got a bit more to it. So we're getting a little bit more complex. And as we get more complex in the background, the pages take longer. So a page like this, which is based on Ness Butler's, is that the right name? This version of this page. This could have taken me 3 days to do. But 3 days of not continuous colouring. Whereas because I was doing other work at the same time. Whereas now I don't work, so I have got every hour in the day to colour, so that helps me too. But there are a few things that I do to also focus on my colouring, which helps me. So I set colouring goals. So at the beginning of this year, I decided which books I wanted to finish colouring. So there are 3 books. I'm just going to flip through while I'm talking so you can have a little look. There are 3 books that I have, no, 6 books that I want to finish colouring by the end of the year. And I've written those down as a goal. And what I do then is, say now I'm going to think, right, what book shall I colour from today? You know, I finished my last picture, where am I going to go? If I really fancy doing a picture from a certain book, I will just dive in and I will do it. I won't worry about finishing a book or my colouring goals or anything, I'll just go and do it. If I'm not sure about what picture to pick, I will look at my list. I've got these 6 books that I want to finish this year, so I look at that list and I'm going to pick one of those. So I decide, do I want a Johanna Basford, like one of these big books to do, or do I want to do a small simple picture? Because my goals for this year are Rooms of Wonder, big book, rather like this one, quite a lot. A Rita Berman book, which is a little bit smaller, or a Matchstick Mouse book, which is really simple and small. So I think about, and various others, but I think about what I'm in the mood for doing. So that's my first pick, and then I pick a book. When I've got a book, I then have to decide which page in the book to colour. So I flip through like this and look for my empty, there's no empty pages in this obviously, flip through and think which page do I fancy doing. So I do that once. If I can't think of a page, find a page, I will just either start at the back like this or go from the front, and I will flick until I find a page that's not finished. Not started, because I always finish all my pages. So I will find a page, let's say this page hasn't been started, so this is my next one I'll get to, so that's the page I'm doing. I look at it, and if I'm really not in the mood for that sort of thing, I'll move on, but generally I'll stop there, and that's the page that I am going to do. And then I have to decide on what pencils to use. That's a trick, can be quite tricky as well. Try not to spend too long thinking about it. I look at the picture. If there's lots of small details, as there is in this picture here, then I need something that I can sharpen that will keep its point. So that eliminates Artex, Prisma and Arteza immediately. Then if I want a small range of colours, then I can pick something. You know, if I'm not in the mood for choosing lots and lots of different colours, then I pick a tin of 12, like my Polycolour, my Holbeins, or although they're pastel, so that might not work, or something like that, something small, Bambino crayons, where I've just got a few to pick from. Or I grab a colour card with a palette, and then I pick from that. If I want a big wide range of colour and a pencil that works on any paper, I always use my Polychromos. So that's that decision, and I try and make it very quickly, okay, because I don't want to spend a long time choosing a page. Right, what I also do is at the beginning of the year, when I set my goals, I count how many pages I've got left in the books that I want to finish. Let's say this one, so I go through it and I count how many blank pages are. There's none, obviously, but I count them, and then I work out how many that's a month that I'm going to have to do, and maybe how many a week that I have to do, and that will help me decide how often I have to do a picture from that particular book. Okay, but this is not set in stone. Colouring is fun, it's a hobby, it's relaxing. So if I feel that I'm not in the mood for finishing that book this year, I'll put it aside and I won't do it. I'll change my mind. Okay, so that's something you can do. But also, if you're really set on finishing a book and there are pictures in it that you aren't so keen on colouring, consider getting someone to help you. You might have children, grandchildren, a spouse, friends, parents, I don't know. get them to help you colour a page. When you go and visit them, take your book and colour it together. You don't have to do it all on your own. So that's a little idea. Also, if you've got a few pages left and you're just not inspired, not sure what to do, look at some videos. Look on Pinterest is a great place. You can search by book and author and it'll come up with all the pages from there, so you can have a look at those. That can help to inspire you. So there's a lot of different ways to just get those last few ones finished. I know some people, what they do is if there's a page in a book that they dislike, say you dislike this page for some reason, they colour a page from another book and they stick it on. I don't think I would be happy in myself in doing that, but some people do that. It could be a thing that would work for you, you know. Or if you mess a page up, that can be tricky. If you feel you've ruined a page and you want to complete the book, but that page is just nagging at you, put something over the top of it, or sort of semi-trace it and redo it and stick it on, or something like that, you know. You might be able to find a way around it so that you can finish it. See that I'm not keen on that, because it's a double page and they don't match, and that's done in pen and that's done in pencil, and for me it just looks really odd. But it was a progression. It was a very early picture that I did. I wouldn't do it like that now, but I've learned that that isn't the way that I want to colour that page if I do it again. And actually having a page sitting there that I'm not too happy with, actually it's in pencil and pen, is fine with me. It sits fine for me. I'm like, that's fine, I've got another copy of this book, so I can do that page in a different way next time. So basically, if you want to finish a book, these will be my sort of main tips. Firstly, count how many pages you have left. Think about when you want to finish it by, and then work out how many pages you have to do a week or a month in order to complete that. And think about whether that's a realistic target for you, knowing how often you colour and how much time you have really, and how long it takes you to do a page. So that's where you can start. Then make sure that you have a selection of books to colour from. If you can afford it. Maybe some people might just have one because that's all they can afford. But don't think you've always got to do from that book, because you will get bored and you will get a little bit annoyed that you haven't got a bit more to colour. So don't be afraid to pop and dig into another book and then go back, because if you do that it will refresh your enthusiasm and you will be able to complete a page probably more quickly because you've done something a little bit different before going back to that book. So that's another tip. And lastly, really, just make sure you have fun and be flexible with your goal. So if you change your mind, that's fine. You haven't failed. You've just matured and changed. And therefore you can choose a different book, or just decide you're not going to finish a book after all. You know, don't feel you've got to stick to that because you decided that a while ago. We change as people and we change our ideas. So yes, I have finished a lot of books, but that doesn't mean that you have to. But if you want to, hopefully those tips might help you. But if you've got any questions, anything that I've sort of missed out, let me know. But when to colour might be another little thing. I used to keep a book by the bed, have one on the sofa, on your lap when you're watching TV, have one at your desk area, take it to work, when you're shopping, at the doctor's. Not when you're shopping, that's quite tricky. No, not when you're shopping. You know, when you're waiting for an appointment, all those things, take it wherever you like. And when you're visiting people, you know, have one with you. But if it's a big book, quite tricky. I don't take these with me. I take these with me, you know, smaller things. But, you know, do that if you're comfortable. I'm not always comfortable colouring in public. It's a thing that it's my own personal thing. I need to get over it. But if you are, then take it with you and have fun with it. So, yeah, mainly have fun. Don't feel pressure to do it. But just keep going, keep plugging away. You know, if you've got a picture like this, I find it quite daunting. But don't look at the whole page. Look at that flower. Colour that flower. Then colour that leaf. then colour that flower and that leaf. Don't think about the rest, and then that bit and that bit, and then you've done that whole little section. Yay! And then you can move on and do that little section and then that little bit. So if you're thinking about a whole book, it can be really daunting. Even a whole page can be really daunting. But if you just concentrate on one little element at a time, set teeny tiny goals. I want to colour that leaf, I want to colour that flower, and then develop from that. That makes it a lot less daunting. So that's me. I'm going to stop talking now. I hope that was quite helpful. It's a bit different. I didn't really know what to do while I was talking to you, so I've just sort of flicked through a few books. But all these books, there are completed book flip-throughs of all of these, so you can go and have a little look if you want some inspiration. That's another thing, just lastly, if you're not sure how to colour a page, how to colour a book, I said this already anyway, go and look at some flip-throughs of completed books, and that will help you hopefully and inspire you. Don't let it daunt you. There will always be someone who's better than you. Always, always, always. Take inspiration. Don't self-criticize. Don't worry that you're not going to do it the same as them. We're all different. No one can do something exactly the same as everybody else. That person who you think is so brilliant has probably got someone that they idolize that's better than them, that makes them feel daunted as well. So just remember that. So there we go. So thank you for watching. I hope that may have been helpful for a few of you. I hope you have a great day and happy colouring.